Maybe the problem isn't a lack of faith or a lack of discipline, like you've been telling yourself. In fact, what you are experiencing in prayer might not be the problem you think it is at all. Today, we are going to peel back the hidden systems of the mind to understand why connection has become so difficult. You've just finished a long day, and you finally have a moment to sit down, close your eyes, and seek God's presence. But only seconds later, your mind starts pulling you in 1,000 directions, from the notifications on your phone to the never-ending list of things you didn't finish. There is a painful conflict happening right there. You truly desire to connect with Him, yet you find yourself interrupted, distant, and unable to stay present for even 10 minutes. This video isn't here to pressure you into trying harder or praying more. Instead, I want to help you understand what is actually happening inside your mind and your emotions when prayer feels like an uphill battle. If you've ever felt exhausted from forcing yourself without seeing any change, I invite you to stay a while. Feel free to share your thoughts if this resonates with you. This is a safe space for us to move from struggling to understanding. Because the truth is, your distraction doesn't start when you begin to pray. It starts long before that. The truth is, you don't actually become distracted during prayer. You simply arrive at prayer already distracted. Think about it. Have you ever picked up your phone just to check a message for 5 minutes, only to look up and realize 40 minutes have vanished? Or the moment you try to focus on one simple task, your brain immediately starts screaming a list of 10 other things you haven't done yet. In today's world, we've reached a point where we can't sit still for even 30 seconds without needing some kind of digital input. The issue here isn't that you are spiritually weak. The issue is that your mind has been trained to stay active, not still. All day long, you are teaching your brain how to jump between browser tabs, short videos, and constant notifications. You are unintentionally building a habit of consuming fragmented information. So, when you finally close your eyes to pray, your brain is just doing exactly what it was trained to do. It's searching for the next spark of stimulation. This is why Romans chapter 12, verse 2 doesn't just talk about changing your behavior. It talks about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's a complete restructuring of how your thoughts function. This distraction isn't a personal failure. It's the default setting of a mind that has been occupied by the modern world, long before you even whisper your first word of prayer. But this goes even deeper than just common distractions. It still looks like prayer, but it no longer feels like connection. You know exactly how that feels. In the beginning, prayer was a sanctuary, a place where you truly poured out your heart. But then, slowly, it started to shift. It became a task to complete. This transition happens so gradually that you don't even notice it. You are still kneeling, still closing your eyes, and still saying the right words, but your presence is gone. It's like working just to get through the day, or talking to someone without actually listening. You are physically there, but mentally miles away. Something changed. Your spiritual routine has turned into a checklist. You do it out of obligation, not out of desire. It's an empty prayer, yet you keep doing it like a machine. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 7, the Bible warns us about heaping up empty phrases or babbling like those who don't know God. He isn't looking for a perfect performance or a long speech. He is looking for your heart. The truth is, you didn't lose your habit of prayer. You lost your relational awareness. You are still in the room, but your heart has already left. And what happens next is not what most people expect at this point. You might be thinking, I just need to be more disciplined. Or, maybe I just don't love God enough. But stop for a moment. What if the problem isn't your lack of discipline? What if it's not even about a lack of love? What if all these distractions, this feeling of emptiness, aren't actually the problem, but just symptoms of something much larger happening beneath the surface? The truth is, we often try to fix our prayer life when what really needs fixing is the internal operating system that runs our mind all day long. So if it's not discipline and it's not a lack of devotion, What is actually controlling this reaction? What is silently pulling you away from God's presence, even when you are trying your hardest to get close to Him? The answer lies in a mechanism that most of us completely overlook. The hardest distance from God is not rebellion, it's guilt. We often don't avoid prayer because we stop believing. We avoid it because we feel unworthy. When you feel like you've failed, an internal withdrawal mechanism kicks in. It's the same way you avoid a close friend after doing something wrong to them. You delay the conversation. You shorten the encounter. You avoid being honest. There's an internal voice that whispers, "Fix yourself first, then come to God." So you step back. The truth is, guilt isn't just a moral emotion. It's a protection layer. We isolate ourselves because we think distance is safer than facing the truth in God's presence. As a result, prayer is no longer a place of healing. It becomes a place of tension, a place where you feel pressured to act okay while you are falling apart inside. 1 John chapter 1 verse 9 reminds us, "If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness." The NIV version says, "He will purify us." It's a process of cleansing, not a court of judgment. You cannot fix yourself before coming to God because His presence is the only thing that can fix you. But even when the guilt is gone, another pattern still remains. The truth is, you are not waiting for God. You are waiting for permission from your feelings. We often get stuck in an illusion, the belief that we must feel right for our prayer to be valid. You wait until you're in the mood. You wait for the perfect timing. You overthink how to pray correctly, trying to find the perfect words. In these moments, prayer becomes a performance. You are applying a performance mindset to your faith. You believe that if you don't reach a certain emotional state, the connection didn't happen. The result? Delay, inconsistency, and constant pressure. You lose your spiritual momentum because you are trying to control the uncontrollable. The issue isn't a lack of discipline. The issue is the illusion of control over your inner state. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 7 reminds us, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." The NIV version is clear. We live by faith, not by sight. Sight isn't just what we see with our eyes. It's what we perceive through our emotions. Faith begins when your feelings aren't ready. Connection starts exactly when you feel the most disconnected. We've walked through the fog of distraction together to see a simple truth. Your struggle is not a spiritual failure. It is simply the echo of an internal system that is tired from fragmented attention to hidden layers of guilt. You are not someone who is giving up. You are someone who is waking up, courageously facing the truth to find a connection that is real, rather than a performance that is perfect. We are not walking this path alone. No matter how noisy your mind feels, God's presence remains still, patiently waiting for you behind those curtains. Is there one specific barrier we discussed today that feels the most like your own story? If you found encouragement here and want to continue this journey of deepening our faith together, I invite you to join our community as we grow, one step at a time. All transformation begins with understanding. Be gentle with yourself today. He is still there, even in your moments of distraction.